Welcome back, everybody, to the first episode of Season 2 of Charlie India Talk Sports. If you haven't been able to figure out by now, I'm your host, Charlie India, and I thank you so much for watching. Football season is back on us. We're going to be doing 2 of these shows a week. We're going to do one, which is going to come out on a Tuesday or Wednesday after the games from the week before. We'll talk about those. Then we're going to do another one on Saturday to talk about what's going to happen. So I'm going to tell you what's going to happen on the following Sunday, and then we'll do one on Tuesday or Wednesday to see how really far off I was. But anyway, if I'm telling you it's true, it's true. Good. No, don't go betting on it because gambling's illegal. We don't do illegal things on the Charlie India Show. So it's good to have you back. I'm excited about football season getting started. But today, this is week 1. Listen, I've been working 2 jobs. Thankful for the opportunity to get caught up on some stuff, and so I haven't been putting a whole lot of all the time that I put into the show before. But now I was able to resign from one, and now I'm just working the one job. So we're going to be getting back later on into all the graphics and the details and the stats and all that kind of stuff. But for today, we just going to wing it. We're going to talk sports, and it's just like a guy talking sports. Before we get too deep into football, though, I want to say something. Wow. Did it make you as sick to your stomach as it did me when Serena Williams lost in the U.S. Open? I was stunned. It was one of those deals where you're looking forward to it. She's such a favorite. She's dominated the sport. It was like 28 or 26 straight U.S. Open matches and 33 Grand Slam, wins, matches that she's won in a row, and just on and on and on. How dominating she's been. She's absolutely one of the greatest, not just female athletes, but greatest athletes of our time. And the way that she has dominated the sport. And she, unlike Floyd Mayweather, who wants to be considered dominant because he's won so many times, Serena has actually physically gone in there and dominated the game. And it was like Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas to me when she lost. I mean, it was that big of a deal. So, like I said, before we get started on football, we're going to be talking a lot of football over the next 18, 20 weeks. But, man, what a punch in the gut that was. And I'm sure Serena will be fine. She's not worried about what old Charlie India has to say. But lady, I know you watch the show, and, best of luck as you continue on. And thanks for the thrills, and just love watching you play. I mean, one of the few tennis stars that I enjoy watching play. So, again, that U.S. Open thing, wow, what a deal that was. But now, it's on us. It's on us, and it's here to stay on us for about the next 22 weeks. Football's back. I know you're wondering, hey, Charlie, where were you? You haven't put down any shows for a while. I'll tell you where I was. I was waiting for football season. I don't like baseball. I don't like soccer. And, man, when basketball ended, it was double tough to try to find stuff to talk about. I'll tell you what, I do admire these guys on ESPN and shows like that do this every day, no matter what. But even one of them, I listen to talk radio, sports radio all the time, and one of them said, they always say if you get stuck at this time of year with nothing to say, find some way to talk about the NFL because that's what we love. And it is here, baby. Week 1 just ended a couple days ago. We're going to go over some of the scores. Like I said, these shows will be a recap of what happened during last week, and then we'll be doing another show. I say we, it's me and the voices in my head. We'll be, I know. We'll be doing another show on it'll probably be released Saturday. I might record it Friday night, might record it Saturday morning. But either way, it'll be recorded, so it'll be out there before the games on Sunday so that you can sit and watch. Now, here's what I'd like for you to do. When we get to that show, or in fact, you can do it right now. Go pull up the schedule for week 2, make your picks, and then send them to me at charlie.india@yahoo.com. Again, that's charlie.india@yahoo.com. You can find me on Twitter at charlieindia37 and contact me one of those ways and give me your picks. And we'll have just a little thing back and forth to see who gets most right. No, you got no chance against me. You got no chance. So bring on your picks. Show me what you got. Tell me why you think I'm an idiot. And mainly it's because I am an idiot. All right, let's go back. We have to go. You can't go forward till you go back. So the first game of the season was the Steelers playing the Patriots. Patriots won the game 28-21. Nothing really remarkable about it except how efficient the New England was at the beginning of the game. They kind of slowed down a little bit second half and allowed the score to be closer than the game really was, because Pittsburgh just did not show up. Wow, does that team need Le'Veon Bell? I think he's got one more game on his suspension, then he'll be back. That's going to help them a lot. But they've got some big tools: Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, Roethlisberger, but they just did not do it on that Thursday night game. And the defense for Pittsburgh is going to be a problem for them this year, I believe. They still got some of the studs they have, but some of them are gone. So, and Patriots, as always, the Patriots came out, took advantage of it. It wasn't one of those things like everybody was, oh, Brady's going to eat the world up. Brady's not going to eat the world up. Brady's going to win games. Brady's going to go there and do what New England does. They're just going to win. And they beat Pittsburgh opening night win 28-21. So they are on the road. I have to take a picture of myself off, so now I can't watch myself. That might be helpful. The next game that we're going to look at, Packers and the Bears, 31-23 win for Green Bay. Bears fans, I don't know what to tell you. You're playing the game. You're hanging with them pretty solid. You've got the lead at one point, I believe. Yeah, you had the lead at one point. Just come on. Cutler being Cutler. Now, normally, as you know, on this show and on the Stiff Arm with Ron Mexico, where I co-host, we do a lot of Cutler bashing, no doubt about it, and deservedly so. I'm not going to apologize for it. However, he was intercepted near the end of the game when they're making the last-minute drive that could have got him in position to tie up the game, and you never know what happens when it gets into overtime, and he gets intercepted. And I texted Ron, my buddy Ron Mexico, I said, Ron, this is Cutler being Cutler. But then I actually saw the replay, and the play got broken down, and I saw how it really worked. What an amazing defensive play that was by the Green Bay Packers. Cutler drops back, the Packers blitz. Now, if you know football, generally a quarterback goes wherever the blitz is coming from, that's where the open guy is going to be, so that's where they tend to look. So the Packers blitz from the right side, and as soon as that blitz comes, A.J. Hawk goes screaming, just a dead sprint to fill up that hole all the way from the left side of the field. So Cutler, never see him coming until it's too late and he's got the ball and the game's over. So although it was Cutler being Cutler, finding a way to lose a game that you had a chance to win, still that, I believe, was more of a great defensive play than it was just Cutler being Cutler. Bears fans, y'all going to have to do something because that window has closed. Next game was, here's one. Kansas City Chiefs playing the Houston Texans. This is a game I didn't care at all about because those two teams have been, like the Dolphins have been for me, just mired in mediocrity. They're always the big talk teams, the teams that every year that's the team to get now. That's the team to get, and then they always find a way to not be the team to get. Thing about this game, Chiefs won 27-20. The thing about this was Matt Ryan. Now I lost Alex Smith. Sorry about that brain fade. Alex Smith, the quarterback for Kansas City. Don't have his stats sitting in front of me, but wow, what a game this guy played. He just was phenomenal going long down the field. Their tight end, Kelsey, caught 2 touchdown passes, and at least one of them was like 45 to 50 yards. It was huge. It was big. So I'm not jumping on a Kansas City Chief wagon, but Houston, with Arian Foster being out, and now they're all starting, their backup quarterback because it was so close. But Hoyer has proved again that he can't get the job done. So now they're going to start the other guy, and we're going to see what happens with there. But I'm not jumping on the Kansas City bandwagon, but wow, what a game they played, and they look really good doing it. So we'll have to keep an eye on them just a little bit. A game that kind of surprised me and really disappointed me was the Cleveland Browns playing the New York Jets. As you know, being a Dolphins fan, hate the Jets. If the Jets never win another game, I'm good with that. But they came out and put it to the Cleveland Browns. Put it to them 31-10. Game wasn't even close. The starting quarterback, Josh McCown, got knocked out of the game. They brought in Johnny Manziel, with the result that you're always going to get when you bring Johnny Manziel in. And they ended up losing 31-10. The thing that impressed me about this game, and I know it was against Cleveland, okay, but it was the Jets playing against Cleveland, that maybe the AFC East is a lot stronger than most people think. And they're already telling me it's a pretty good division, but this is turning pretty impressive. And another reason why it is impressive, Buffalo Bills played the Indianapolis Colts. Buffalo handled them 27-14. Now, I'm not surprised that Buffalo scored 27 points, even though they have a rookie quarterback starting for them. What I am surprised is that they were able to hold Indianapolis to 14. That's big, because I'm anticipating that with the Colts defense, there's always going to be 27 points scored by the other team. But I also anticipated Indy being able to score 30 or 35, and they didn't. I mean, the Bills just ate my fantasy quarterback, Andrew Luck, ate him up all day long. Get 2 interceptions. Didn't look good when he was throwing the ball. So the Bills are now another team to watch for, again, from the AFC East. So you have the Patriots, the Bills, and shoot, who did I just talk about? The Jets, all playing. So I don't know. This AFC East is going to be something. Now, let's see who we got. And then, continuing the AFC East, my Dolphins did go up on the road and beat Washington 17-10. And I know that they say in the NFL, a road win is a road win is a win. It's all you got to do. Go in there, just win the game, baby. But all this summer long, I've been hearing about how good the Dolphins are going to be, how great that offense is going to be, how they've got Sue on there with Lake now and all this kind of stuff, and they're just going to they're going to be the one to pass New England. Well, New England walks out and wins pretty solid. The Bills walk out and crush Indianapolis, and even the Jets win again against Cleveland, but still a 31-10 win is a 31-10 win. We go up there against Washington, who is minus their starting quarterback. RG3's in his pajamas out there running around on the field. Kirk Cousins, who hasn't won a game since they started playing football, wow, could not stop the run. Washington just ran all over the Dolphins. I think the lead running back, Alfred Morris, had 128 yards on these guys. Just could not stop them, could not get them off the field. My buddy Ron texted me. He says, the defense looks worn out. I text back, if the defense would make a play, they could get off the field. They couldn't, they didn't, and if it weren't for the punt return by the Dolphins for a touchdown, this game could have gone a whole different way. So now, of the 4 teams in the AFC East, I was picking New England, Miami, Buffalo, and then whatever happened to the Jets. Right now, the way those teams look, now I know it's only one game, so you can't hit the panic button on one game, and I'm not. But, wow, the Dolphins in that game look like they're the 4th team in the AFC East, and that's not where you want to be. Next game up, Panthers and Jaguars. Panthers did what they're supposed to do. They go beat Jacksonville 20-9. Blake Bortles didn't show me a whole lot. I didn't get to actually sit and watch the game, but I just seen what I've seen from it. Didn't show a lot. Carolina, again, I'm not impressed with Carolina. So the fact it was 2 teams that, and they got what you wanted on that. This was kind of disappointing, though, from what I'm hearing from the Jacksonville fans, because Jacksonville, they are not looking to, win the championship or anything, but they are looking to have a lot better run than they have been having, with this being Bortles' second year. So, not off to a good start, guys. Not off to a good start. And next week, you got the Dolphins. So we're going to have 2 teams that are not playing the best. Again, it's only the first game. Exciting game goes into overtime. Seattle Seahawks are playing the St. Louis Rams. Sorry, Ron, it's not Los Angeles yet. The Rams and the Seahawks play games go into overtime, and the Rams pull it out 34-31. Great game, exciting all the way through. There were 2 kicks of some kind, punts and kickoff returns for touchdowns. Everything else is just a 30-plus point game going into overtime. This is what I expected, a lot more. It's kind of surprising to see Seattle giving up that many points. Their defense isn't what it used to be. Still damn good, though. Still good. So don't worry about those guys. One of the questions I have, and one of the things I'm looking forward to watching this year, is what happens with Seattle, because Russell Wilson is by far the best guy in the league right now at keeping a play alive. And then you throw a 6-6 touchdown machine his way, and I'm thinking this means great things for the offense. Now, the defense needs to continue to do what they've been doing for a few years. Again, it's one game. It is in your division, which is never good, but again, it's still just one game. You've lost by 3. This team's going to be all right. Both of these teams are going to be all right. This is going to be an interesting division to watch. Next up on the list, the Detroit Lions played the San Diego Chargers. San Diego wins the game 33-28. Didn't get to see any of this game, but I was kind of disappointed. I picked Detroit to win this game. I keep thinking, and Detroit's one of those teams that does to me does me the same way. This is their year. This is their year. And it never ends up being their year. And again, this is just one game. It's the first game of the season. With San Diego, come on. You got to do better than losing to San Diego. You know, Calvin Johnson had nothing. You know, it was just a horrible game for them. But they still managed to, 33-28. So, it wasn't like it was a beatdown. But I'm anxious to see now what Detroit does, because the window's closing on them a little bit. Especially Sue out and all this kind of stuff. They got to get going. So we'll see what happens. Next game up. Oh, yeah. Tennessee Titans played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The rematch of whatever quarterback duel, Marcus Mariota and Jameson Winston for the Bucs. You know, you guys put too much emphasis on that. I know that the NFL did the matchups that way, but come on. In football, especially, to say that it's a matchup of Mariota and Winston when Mariota and Winston are never on the field at the same time means it's not a matchup of them. It's a matchup of the Tennessee Titans and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mariota, as the quarterback for his team, looked fantastic. He looked really good, way more than what you expect out of a rookie playing his first game. Jameson looked like what you expect out of a rookie playing his first game. He was not good. He was horrible. Now, does that mean he's going to be a horrible player, that the trade was a bust, that we should all go run? No. Again, folks, one game. It's just one game. However, it does point out you can learn a lot by one game. There's a lot of work left to be done on Tampa Bay, which we knew. They only won 2 games last year. It wasn't like they're going to make the playoffs or anything this year. But again, there's a lot of work to be done. Mike Evans was out, which is always a big problem when your best wide receiver is out and your quarterback's a rookie. But come on, guys. Calm down a little bit. Now, Tampa Bay's not going to do anything this year. Let it be another rebuilding year so you can sit and watch them lose, another 10 games. But, don't go thinking that Mariota and Tennessee are going to run off and head to the Super Bowl just because of this one game. However, I'd rather have the Tennessee side of that than have the Tampa Bay side of that. All right. Then the Bengals played the Raiders. Now, I'm always kind of, me, I'm always dogging Cincinnati as a team that has all the talent, should be doing way better than they are, but they're just not. And the Raiders, well, they're the Raiders. The Raiders are just bad. They've been bad. They're going to be bad. It's kind of where careers go to die. So I wasn't surprised. I was a little bit surprised that Cincinnati was able to win the game 33-13 by as much as they did. But I'm not surprised at all that Cincinnati won this game. I'm still not buying the Cincinnati juice. Although Pittsburgh has a loss, Cincinnati has a win. We'll see how these things go. In a game that says more to me than the score indicates, the next game up is the Broncos, Denver, and the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens lost the game, or Denver won the game 19-13. But wow. This is another one of the things I want to watch for this year in the NFL. How's Peyton Manning going to do? Peyton is other than Dan Marino, one of my all-time favorite players. But at the end of last year, he couldn't play in a high school game. He was just beat up. He was hurt, and he just couldn't throw the ball. And then he comes in this week, and it's the first game of the season, and he looks very much the same way. The offense was stagnant. It was just bad. It was a bad game to watch. It was hard to watch a player that I like as much as him perform so poorly. And the thing I want to watch for the rest of the season is, will this get better, or is this the Peyton Manning that we have? And did he stay 1 year too long? Because that is what happens. Just ask the Brett Favres and guys like that of the world. So my eye is on the Broncos, not so much that now that I was expecting them to have a good, easy time in that division, but just to see the state of Peyton Manning and whether he has the remainder of a good year in him, because he didn't get off to a good start. But Broncos won the game 19-13, and again, the win is a win. The Giants and the Cowboys. Here we go, kids. A lot of times it's easier to give a game away than it is to win it. And that is what exactly happened to the Giants. They gave this game away. They have, what were they? They were up 23-20 near the end of the game. 2 minutes left in the game. They've got the ball within like the 3-yard line of the Cowboys. All you do is run it in and score, and then whatever happens, happens. Because whatever happens, it was going to take Dallas time to run to get the clock run down. So, but Eli tells the running back reportedly, and I wasn't in the huddle this time, but reportedly Eli told the running back, "Don't score. We're going to take time off the clock." The thing was, he miscalculated how many timeouts they had. He thought they had one, they had two. So they run a play. The guy falls down. Well, I say falls down, but he meant he was tackled easily, without scoring. And of course, Dallas calls a timeout. Next play, same thing. Guy runs, and I'm not saying that he fell down, but he went down pretty easy. He gets down. Eli's thinking, that's cool. Now we got 40 seconds to run the clock. Well, you don't. They have two timeouts. So now Dallas calls another timeout. Great. Now I've miscalculated this play altogether. Got a minute 41 seconds left. We haven't run any time off the clock. Now what are we doing? So what happens? On third down, Eli drops back, and as soon as a little bit of pressure comes, throws the ball away. Problem with that, in the NFL, when you throw the ball away, incomplete pass, it stops the clock. Eli, take a sack, brother. Take a sack. You would have still been in field goal range. You would have taken another 40-plus seconds off the clock. Then you got pressure on Romo to do what they got to do. But no, he throws away. See ya. Clock stops. They kick a field goal to get the score to 26-20. Give Romo the ball back, and he just eats through them like a warm knife through butter, as they say in Kentucky. So Dallas ends up scoring the game-winning touchdown. You pissed away your opportunity to win a game against your arch rival. Way to go, Giants, and way to go, Eli. So Dallas wins the game, 27-26. Other than the ending, not a whole lot of remarkable stuff to me about that game. So we'll have to see what happens. On Monday, there were not one, but two games. And I love this about the NFL, until you actually have to stay up till 2 in the morning watching a game. And on the first week of the full schedule, they always put out 2 Monday night games. And they did that again this week. And the beauty of this segment was I needed one of those Monday night games to come back and, that's right, win my first week of fantasy football against my arch rival in the league. So thank you very much. Thank you. Whew. Anyway, the first game was the Eagles versus the Falcons. Great game, back and forth all the way. What I was wanting to see didn't happen in the first half. I wanted to see Philadelphia's offense to see how they were going to do. They didn't do anything. They were horrible. And what happens is when you're in that hurry up, go fast, no huddle offense, when you go 3 and out, you're only on the field for like 15, 20, 30 seconds at the most. So the defense for the Eagles was out there all the time. I'm not sitting here with the numbers in front of me or anything, but my gosh, it was just in, out. I mean, they didn't have a possession that lasted more than 2 minutes the whole first half. It was just ridiculous, Excuse me. And the Falcons, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones lit them up all night. It was they just could not. They had no answer for Julio Jones and the rest of the passing attack for the Falcons. But as what happens in a game when the first half ends, well, they play another one. They play a second half. And in the second half, DeMarco Murray and Darren Sproles got in the game. They were in the game before, but they got involved in the game, got playing, had some big runs, which opened up the field a little bit so that now Stafford is able to throw the ball some, and the offense starts moving, starts clicking. They're coming back, and everything else. In fact, they take the lead. They've got the lead, and then at the end of the game, Atlanta, who has kind of slowed down, finds a way to score. They're doing all right, and then the Eagles get the ball back. They're moving the ball. But then they get down near the end of the field, and they decide, well, we're close enough. Let's just lay down in the middle of the field for a couple of plays, and then we'll turn it over to the only guy who's not a real football player on the team. He kicks. Let's turn it over to him, and then he'll get the game-winning kick, and we'll win the game. All right, I hate that strategy. If you're moving the ball, move the ball. Just keep going, because, you got a 35-yard field goal. Okay, we're in range. We're good. But isn't a 20-yard field goal easier to make? 15-yard field goal, which that'd be pretty hard to do. You'd be on the one. But, I mean, why not keep moving the ball, run the clock down, get it as close as you can, and then if you have to kick the field goal, kick the field goal, instead of going, hey, we're within 35, we're good. You weren't good. He missed it. You lost the game. Way to go. Way to stop your own momentum. Again, it's easier to give a game away than it is to win one in the NFL. I'm stunned by this. It was horrible coaching. I don't know what Chip Kelly was thinking. You finally had your momentum going. You finally were working the ball right. You had it going, and you just said, okay, we'll do it from here. Never settle. Go. Keep the hammer on. Keep the foot on the pedal, the knife at the throat. Just get it done. And they didn't. And when you settle for stuff, then you open yourself up for things like wide right. And so Philadelphia ends up losing the game. Atlanta gets a 2-point win. A win's a win, you know. And Atlanta's just loving taking that away. That offense is looking pretty good. I think that they could use some help in a couple areas. But wow, but Philly, you gave the game away. So I can't wait to see what happens when Philadelphia plays the Giants, to see which one of these teams is going to find a way to lose against another team that's trying to lose. It was ridiculous. One more game. The 49ers played the Vikings, and I'm going to tell you, stunned. The 49ers won the game 20-3. Wow. I didn't think that the 49ers had a chance of not winning a game all year. So many people have left that team, and so many people aren't happy with what's going on. They've changed coaches and everything else, and Minnesota's coming back with Teddy Bridgewater playing his second year, and Adrian Peterson, is back. Adrian Peterson had 10 carries for 31 yards. Come on, y'all got to do better than that. And Minnesota only manages 3 points. They lose 20-3, and San Francisco found a way to win. And again, this one game, not getting too swept up in it, but I had kind of Minnesota leaning towards that wild card spot in the NFC, and they can't even beat the 49ers, who are looking to have a really bad year. So I don't know, guys. Again, having said all that nonsense, let's remember, it is just one game. So we're not going to get too wrapped up in all that stuff. But again, these are kind of things you have to watch, because the way you start isn't necessarily the way you finish, but it does kind of make that big finish harder for you. I always tell people, they talk about baseball games in April not being important. Well, if you win enough in April, you're not in such a tight race in October. Same thing with football. When you're seeing all those things where, they're on the outside looking in, or the magic number where this team, if you win these games you're supposed to win, then you don't have to worry about that at the end of the year. Every game is important. All of them. Play them. Win them. Don't give them away. Oh, my gosh. Well, managed just to be chatting with you about stuff like this, and almost ran out our time. We're going to do another. I keep saying we. Like I said, it's just me. Ain't nobody else here. But I'm going to be fair, the picks for the rest for next week are going to be on the next show. However, there is a game tomorrow night. Denver is playing Kansas City, so I'm going to pick that game so that you know that we're always going to say you pick the winning team. Okay, because I would do that. That's the win's a win, baby. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to pick Kansas City. I would normally not pick Kansas City to beat Denver. I just don't have. I'm not a big Denver. I'm not a big Kansas City fan. I'm not a big Denver fan as much as I'm a Peyton Manning fan. So. But in this particular case, with Manning playing off, C.J. Anderson's kind of hurt, which I got to go change the fantasy team. He's on it. Not sure how that's going to go for him. The defense for Denver, though, is looking really good. So that's something to watch. Alex Smith, though, looked hot, looked strong. Jamal Charles, they got in the backfield there. So I'm going to reluctantly pick Kansas City to win this game against Denver, and then we'll see how it goes. So there you have it, the first pick. Send me your picks to charlie.india@yahoo.com, and we'll see who comes out, because, again, I understand why you don't want to do that, Charlie India, come on. Anyway, send me your picks. We'll have some fun with it during the season and everything else. It's really easy to do. Send me your picks, and we'll hash it out and everything else. So that's the first episode that we're going to do of the season. I know I was a little bit late because I didn't get the pregame for the first show done, but first week done. But we're here now. We're going to be doing this thing. I'm so glad you're watching this thing. It really means a lot to me. And like I said, we're going to be 2 and 2 a week. So be looking for another one on Saturday, which we will pick the rest of the games for Sunday in my ironclad, cannot miss fashion. Okay, so now I've got Kansas City beating Denver for Thursday night. We'll talk about the rest of them in the next show. Again, as I've told you 2 or 3 times, where the heck have you been? You can contact me at charlie.india@yahoo.com. watch the show. You can leave notes for me here on the show and send me your picks that way. There's 100 ways. It's technology. There's a lot of ways that you can get through to folks right now. I am on Twitter. I don't check my Twitter account that much. I'm going to have to start because football season starting or is in full effect now. So we'll be maybe communicating that way. Anyway, folks, I really do appreciate you watching. Watch out for the show on Saturday. Go make all my picks. Let's see what you got. Anyway, this is Charlie India saying, watch the football, but get out there and play.